Thank you for coming in and joining us today. This is the 120th Wednesday poetry reading put on by the Brooklyn Rail. Today's reading, which has been put together by Chime Lama, is called Katana Wielding Neon Butterfly Slices Through Quotidia. Chime is going to be reading and joined by Aristilde Kirby, Kelsang, Lhamo, and Maya Salameh. I'll introduce Chime in just a minute. This is also the 737th episode of the new social environment. And we're here doing the readings every Wednesday. If you're new to the series, you might take a look at the chat during the reading. There'll be information about the Rail posted, and mainly information about all of the various endeavors of our terrific readers. And my name is Anselm Berrigan. I'm the editor of the poetry section, and the February issue of the Brooklyn Rail just went up last night / this morning, so you might check that out after the reading. Very happy to be able to introduce Chime Lama, who's a Tibetan-American writer, translator, and multi-genre artist. She holds an MA in Divinity from the University of Chicago and an MFA in Creative Writing from Brooklyn College. She serves as the poetry editor of Yeshe, a journal of Tibetan literature, arts, and humanities. And her work has been featured in Exposition Review, The Margin, Street Cake, Volume Poetry, and Cadernos de Literatura, and Traducao. I don't know if I pronounced that right, Notebooks of Literature and Translation, among others. Her poetry book, Sphinx-like, is forthcoming from Finishing Line Press, and she teaches creative writing at the Rochester Institute of Technology. You can also find poems of hers in the December-January issue of the Brooklyn Rail. Please welcome Chime to the reading.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I create a lot of concrete poetry, which has a very visual element. So if you don't mind, I'm going to share screen as the first few poems are concrete poems. Okay. My first poem is entitled Ah. And Ah is the 30th and final letter of the Tibetan alphabet. And it is also believed to be the basis of the sound of all the Tibetan letters. And so it can be understood as omnipresent. I'm going to play some background music in the key of B flat while I read this poem. And that is because I recently learned that there is a black hole that has been singing for billions of years in a very low B flat, which is the deepest sound in the universe. And so I'd like to have that expansive sound resonating while I read this poem. Ah expands throughout space. Its waves wash through you. You do not have a body. Your consciousness alone experiences the power of Ah, like rainbow air. Ah expands throughout space. Its waves wash through you. You do not have a body. Your consciousness alone experiences the power of Ah, like rainbow air. Thank you. My next poem is entitled Ma. And in Tibetan, Ma means mother, and Buddhists are taught that all sentient beings have been their mother at some point. For this poem, I'm going to be playing the frequency of 432 hertz, and that's because it's believed to help with pregnancy and safe labor. Ma is the universal mother who nurtures the universe. Ma loves without reason. Ma is the beginning, end, and beginning. Ma is the most natural nature within us. Ma is the universal mother who nurtures the universe. Ma loves without reason. Ma is the beginning, end, and beginning. Ma is the most natural nature within us. Thank you. My next poem is called Rough Draft, and it appears as a translation in progress that still has all of its possibilities open. Mo, she, female, woman, divination. Yi, of, apostrophe s, possessive. Yong, yield, produce, come. Wei, in, of which is, which has. Gokap, opportunity, chance, moment, time, situation. Zangpo, well, good, excellent, auspicious, fine, noble, positive. Te, that, namely, to wit. Koryuk, environment, surroundings, horizon, panorama. Dang, and, with, connecting, separating. Tumpo, compatible, harmonious, friendly, affable, amicable. Re, be, is, are, right, yes. Shak, establish, posit, place, postulate, discover. Moi yongwe gokap zangpote, koryuk dang tumboresha. Thank you. This next poem is called Holy Papadum, and it pays homage to the delicious Indian papadum and late night eating. Bazoinger, turf knell,
Yes.
rattling,
Yes.
in anguish,
Yes.
menthol,
Yes.
holy,
Yes.
papadum,
Yes.
full of
Yes.
grace at 1:18 a.m. Thank you. Fated, faded, homies. Told you I love you. Fell down the stairs. Broke all the doorknobs. 'Cause I don't know my own strength. Now we are transitioning into event scores. This is called Paper and Scissor Morning Event, and I'm going to demonstrate this event score while I read it. Arrange one piece of 8 by 11 paper and one pair of scissors before yourself on a flat surface. Lift the paper and scissor with your hands. Hold the paper horizontally and make one upward 90-degree cut in the middle of the bottom. That cut produces a slit. Cut the left side of the slit in the middle. Cut diagonally downward from the upper right corner of the newly made slit. Cut diagonally upward from the end of slit number 3 so that you meet the end of slit number 2. That cut produces a triangle. Lick the triangle and press it to your forehead in any manner. Sit and experience the feeling with eyes closed for 5 minutes. When you do this yourself, I invite you to sit for the full 5 minutes. I won't be able to right now. And from this point on, the pieces have less of a visual element, so I'll stop sharing and I'll just read them. Event scores. Nudge piece. Approach something on the ground. Say, "You'll do." Nudge it with your foot. Window piece. Look at a window as if it's looking at you. Holler piece. Brush your butt against a wall. Holler, "Don't touch me there." Tangy piece. Slice 3 oranges in half and place them on the floor facing up. Remove your shirt and lay on them. Hold me, don't hold me piece. Cross your arms and hold yourself. Release and fully extend them out horizontally. Repeat as you wish. Sky piece. Ask the sky for inspiration. Write down what it expresses. Math piece. Read a mathematical equation out loud and call it a poem. Sex piece. Think of all the people you've had sex with. Never think of it again. Forgiveness piece. Ask the nearest thing to forgive you for your selfishness. Sunlight piece. Stand in sunlight, eating sunlight. Thank you. And my final piece is the first recipe from a surrealist cookbook that I'm currently working on, entitled Curious Cooks, a collection of surrealist recipes. The epigraph goes like this. I like your cook. I want to eat all your food. Urgensomo, my niece, age 3. Recipe for squirrel's delight. Preheat oven to 400 degrees. Grease a 8x4-inch loaf pan. In a bowl, combine dry ingredients. 1/4 of a 3-day-old Mexican wedding cookie. 2 shakes of your traveling friend's socks, the one that used to couch surf a lot, but doesn't as much anymore. 1/2 order of 4-day-old shrimp pad thai, so it's nice and stiff. 2 fingers of ginger, peeled of course, and quartered. 1 cup of cornmeal. In another bowl, combine wet ingredients. Drain 2 packs of Capri Sun Pacific Cooler. 1/2 cup of lard, melted. 1/3 cup of coconut water. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Mix wet ingredients until smooth. Gently incorporate dry and wet ingredients until just mixed. Pour the compound into the loaf pan. Bake for 20 to 25 minutes. Remove the loaf and allow to cool for 30 minutes. Slice the loaf into 1/2-inch pieces, then slice those into smaller pieces. Take the squares and scatter them outside for the squirrels. Thank you.
Thank you, Chime. I'm looking forward to that cookbook. Our next reader will be Aristilde Kirby. She's published chapbooks with Best American Experimental Writing 2020, Belladonna, and Black Warrior Review. Her book, Daisy and Catherine², published in 2022 from Auric Press, will be back with a reissue in the spring. Her work, currently covering the basis of writing, art, and performance, has been featured in Miguel Abreu Gallery, the Haus der Kulturen der Welt entrance, Smack Mellon, Texte Zur Kunst Velvet Voice Club at Rotor Salon, and soon at the Poetry Project. Please welcome Aristilde Kirby.
Hi, everyone. My name is Aristilde Kirby. It's a pleasure to be here with you all today. And I will be here. 1 moment. Thank you. I'm going to read some poetry for you. Thank you, Chime, for having me. Thank you, Kelsang. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Maya, for, making this constellar fabulation today with me. It's a real honor to come back for the 2nd time this week and do a thing for y'all for the rail. So I guess I'll read for you, to you, since we're reissuing it in the spring, I'm going to read to you a sort of like weird digest sort of version of a few of the Daisy and Catherine poems, just sort of like recombined in this sort of way. And I call it Daisy and Catherine 2+. Should I show it to you? I don't know. Maybe I should, because it looks strange. It looks weird, but it looks cool. I think it looks cool. I guess I'll screen share for this and for this only. 1 moment. Single page. If you want. Better. 1 second. Where is it? Sorry. We'll be all right. Oh, 1 second. There it is. Beep. All right. Daisy and Catherine²+. Feel it with your skin. Mistress heels click. Steps and breath. Rib eye at the plate. Medium rare pitch. Molten told. Both languas, a form void, foam born. Shading trees on loose leaf. You are so pretty. A harlequin metal mark, flecked in grave accents, made fringed in the shape of her, glowing and growing past each grid. A dancer on the world's grief. As the world stops turning, you are the pole I yearn to flit with. Your earlobe a mere pittance to raise siege charnely mood, lurid namesake bloomed. A pyramid in verse of a Baudelaire poem on her tartan penknife. Talking mess or dissolving scars, she peels a pink lady who tears on her touch a lip. Nadeshko Pink's bloom carnal, behind and before Kushiti Gurba, underrealm unzipped, becomes its home origin. The poor demon batter boy staying to grow green omegas upon the map to Alphabet City, because in the front 4D Twilight Sandcastle of Persephone's phosphines, they lit mugs at the same time, while tasting the coin's black locks, bliss flax in the back. Her mullet, 3D blonded, she would die of happiness. Stegner longing limbs handle ice cube shisa leaves banged by a shrine, split and spread red, talking mess or dissolving scars. The mantis trims the winds and tequila, breathe on the glass. Sunlit picnic on the mountain, stereo blasting Bjork, purikura and eel tempura. They ride in each other's cars. Wheel play. You somehow got away. Pearl dripping down the night's face. Catch, I would die for you. The crane unfolds and my heart crap reels. Imago pin hips with your grail tongue saber, charity, stem diet. Off of a gay oxide to see, I need to bring you home now. As the world stops turning, you are the stayless pole I yearn to flit with. We're a big hit like a big bounty or a song going diamond. You're in my head, take the goddamn shot already, steady, and when the time is right. Like Badiou says, love means being present at the birth of the world. The Sheena Ringo song says, eternity is curt, isn't it? As the pleats of the aurora curtsy to melt the peaks of fondant icing, A head and B head, perseverance is our amuletic circuit. And I want to lay my head on your shoulder, L, like Daisy and Catherine. And that's that. So after that, I'm going to read you something new, something pretty new anyway. It's called, well, let's just start with all the poems in a miniature form first, and then we'll recombine them at the end. This one is called Usagi Origami. It's for the Japanese, like origami rabbit. 1. The diamond becomes an isosceles panty dual pair. 2. Avoid light kite blown. 3. A pale praying orchid mantis. 4. Mirrored cardinal from the reader in profile mid-flight. 5. A blank sailboat sinks. 6. Anubis hieroglyph at rest. 7. A bolt piercing, not 2 on the Roman nose. And 8. A post-it note bunny. That was, yeah, Usagi Origami. I guess I could show you how I made that one, because it comes from this diagram of an origami rabbit being made. Let me show you that real quick. Where are you? There it is. Just, yeah. Starts from the diamond. I think I got panties from the 2, the 3, the kite, the 4, the 5, the praying mantis, the 7, the cardinal, and its sort of uplift, the 8, the sailboat sinking, the 9, the Anubis in repose, and so on and so forth. But yeah, what else do we have? Okay. 5. This one is called genesiac. It's just like a sort of adjectival sort of word for the, like someone like Genesis, someone from, I guess, Genesis or something like that. 5. A pencil sharpener as pink conch. In the absence of one turn, I hear unformed every word. And that was genesiac. Hold on. There you are. This one is called Quiet Storm Chaser Seeks a Match to the Veins in My Hand, after the R&B group Jagged Edge from the 90s and the early 2000s. They have a song called What You're Trying to Do. I love that song. It's like yeah, it's just like a really great song, and it has a really good sort of use of this sort of like Eastern sitar in it. Yeah, Quiet Storm Chaser seeks a match to the vein in my hand after Jagged Edge. It's smelling like lightning. Oh, I should say this. There's a part in the song where it's just like during the bridge of the song, one of the singers is like, this is the part I like right here, but I've always heard it as the first line of this poem. It's smelling like lightning. Comets of rain race sidereal down windshield. The bridge in song is where all shifts. I've a glove of latex. This one's called Allting tar slut, which is a Swedish sort of phrase for all things will pass. And it's based off this title from this progressive death metal band, or progressive band in general. Her name is Opeth from Sweden. Shout out to Mikaela Egerfelt. Yeah, Allting tar slut. All umbrage overlaps as if a girlfriend caterpillar, all lapless and phalanx, and all inference forge again denuded. I, better, still want you. This one's called Pornographer's Daughter. One of my favorite anime that I've ever seen is called Dear Brother. And there's this one character, her name is Mariko, and she is the daughter of a pornographer at school. Like, it's so like almost like Victorian that it's just like they make fun of her, like, you're the daughter of a pornographer, and this is supposed to be some like grand insult or something like that. And it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of sad. So this is Pornographer's Daughter. Interred to her peignoir to abate the pain. Descry a pulse in these sheer pitch pages, babe. Fuck those cross looks. Wet that glance, love. Know the peace lily scowls with a spiked mace. Make them flinch, brace. You grow ethals on a wet black bow. This one's called Perlona. One of my favorite record labels of all time is a Berlin-based record label called Perlon. They do like minimal house, minimal techno sort of stuff. And this is a poem that I wanted to write, sort of bouncing off that idea. A bass drum bangs a fang into the spectrogram, a prism in symbols envelope, pearlescent cloud pads in bold, dual gyroid, wing print lattice like new snow. Each flake arpeggiates the piano roll, ashing away like a seething maiden's smoldered mantilla. The chrysalis cracks in the centerfold erupts its panicled graphene lobes, then soars, hook-like, from drop. Okay, and I guess we'll read it all together. And I guess that'll be that for me. This is my last song, everyone. Where are you? So yeah, I have a form that I call the Vajramakagram. It's based on the Sanskrit word meaning lightning and diamond together. And it's like a sort of like modular, sort of recombinatory sort of style. So everything I read to you, you might hear again in a new sort of arrangement. This one's called moissanite. Moissanite is a sort of like imitation diamond that is often, it's like a sort of lab-grown diamond. Let me not say it's an imitation diamond. It's a lab-grown diamond. And yeah, like sometimes it's more ubiquitous than you think in the world. But I'm writing a project that's kind of like about like strata or like layers of earth. And this is one of those ones called moissanite. I was asked where I got my hella. A bass drum bangs the fang into the blushing sky, bashful spectrogram. A prism as a nectarine. Otherwise, she in symbols envelope, pearlescent, licks my skin knuckles, in cloud pads in bold dual. It makes light volcanoes of gyroid wing print lattice like new snow, my fresh mosquito bites. Each flake arpeggiates sound pleats in a folded nigh. Giggle the piano roll, ashing away bled like swam water's wan, like a seething maiden's palm from my ear. Meddler mapped on a smoldered mantilla. A chrysalis, one, the diamond becomes, cracks in the centerfold, smelling like lightning. An isosceles panty dual pair erupts its pinnacled graphene lobes. Comets of rain, sidereal race downwind. Two, avoid light kite blown, then soars, hook-like from drop shield. The bridge in song is three, a pale praying orchid mantis. A pencil sharpener as pink conch were off shifts. I have a glove of latex. Four, mirrored cardinal in the absence of one, obscured in her peignoir from the reader, in profile, mid-flight, turn. I hear unformed every word to abate the pain. Descry a pulse. Five, a blank sailboat sinks. All umbrage overlaps in these sheer pitch pages. Six, Anubis hieroglyph at rest, as if a girlfriend caterpillar babe. Fuck those cross looks. Wet that glance, love. Seven, a bolt piercing all lapless and fiend legs. Know the peace lily scowls, not two on the Roman nose. And eight, an all inference forged again denuded with the spike mace, making them flinch, brace. You, the post-it note bunny. I still want you. Grow. Etals on a wet black bow. Dear Clot, Teclear, Moissanite line in the light looks censored on TV in real life. And that was based on, and I got that from one of my favorite rappers. His name is Westside Gunn. He's from Buffalo, New York. And he has this ad-lib that I'd like to end off with, that I've ended this line off with. And he was on TV on wrestling, and he had like this great chain and this great like diamond chain. It might have been Moissanite, it might have not, but it was just like gleaming so much that it looked like it was censored on TV, like it wasn't censored. It was just that brilliant. But he would end this with boom. That's his ad lib. Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Aris. Our next reader is going to be Maya Salameh. Maya is the author of How to Make an Algorithm in the Microwave, published last year by the University of Arkansas Press, and Rue, published last year, or in 2020, I'm sorry, by Paper Nautilus Press. She's the youngest ever winner of the 2022 Etel Adnan Poetry Prize and a finalist for the 2022 previously published Poetry Prize and 2020 Sublingua Prize for Poetry. She's a poet fellow of the William Mail Foundation and a 2016 National Student Poet, America's highest honor for youth poets. She's performed her work for 3 First Ladies, and her poems have appeared in Poetry, The Rumpus, The Margins, and Agni, among others. Please welcome Maya to the rail.
Hi, everybody. I'm super happy to be here. Thank you, Aris and Chime, for your magical work. I love Westside Gunn, Texte, and Chime. Wow, like the visual capacity of your work is unimaginable and inspiring. So thank you for having me here. I didn't know it was the 20th reading. That's awesome. And I'm happy to contribute. So I'm reading out of my new book, which I have in front of me, How to Make an Algorithm in the Microwave, which you can find and buy at Maya SLMH on Twitter or Instagram. The link is there. Yeah, and I'm gonna be reading a couple poems out of the book, and I'm gonna start with Sleep Apnea with City Block. So this has an epigraph, and the epigraph is out of Senseless by Lubna Katani. I think it's really relevant, especially now. Today, I think, or last week, the OMB, which is like the census organization, decided to maybe add a MENA box, which I think is interesting. And the epigraph says, the war on terror was not defined by a geography, a time bracket, or an established rubric for its targets. The ambiguity of the target was not an oversight by the US intelligence regime, but rather a deliberate political strategy that demonstrates the way racial ambiguity works in service to racialized violence and exclusion. Ambiguity of the target is a necessary and intentional characteristic. Again, that's out of Senselessness by the really insightful scholar Lubna Katani. Sleep Apnea with City Blocks. One night, the street is to the left, and the next, its artery is repaved. 961, my mother watches me in the bathroom. The house shrinks to the fabric across my breasts, and haven't I been good? Cross my legs with priests and capitalists. 6-1, it takes me 4 neighborhoods to fall asleep. I scrape the skin off nectarines. 619, the rich devour my coast, buying homes by the same ocean that stole so many husbands. The sea is the last wife, and teenagers dump electronics in her lap. 619. It's the end of January, and I'm still anemic. 9-6, I pull her shirt and make myself an altar. 6-1, a street is built like this. An icon sold a limb of cement, a relic from the internet. I stashed the orange moon under my 5th molar, and it's been feeding me ever since. 961, and Lemon Grove looks like Mediterranean from 2 blocks down, and once I dreamt I had a daughter. I never slept again. 6-1, Saida like cicadas in August. 6-1, I am singing. It is the rosary again. I want to be ordinary, intact as a man in uniform. 9-6, I sing like an elegy with the city in it. Thank you. And I probably should have mentioned this before, but 619 is the area code from San Diego, which is my hometown, and 961 is the area code for Lebanon, which is where my father is from. So this next poem is called Elegy with Amy. The doctors don't know what to do with me. Maybe I'm out of platelets, maybe I've been watched too much. My grandmother was a lavender comb and lemon-faced, and when the doctor asked for a health history, I told him my uncles were 60% smoke. My hair in helixes, the nursing home in May, and it's over 80, the flowers are reeking. She is bedridden, and the MRI beeps next to MTV, and the crooners propagate for months. Amy, our women live to 90. Summer, and my headphones, you're starving. Amy, you sing. The country where all subletting is dying, but they still sell monsters on Youth Latin. Amy, my grandmother sang Halim until she forgot him, and her voice is in my clothes and yours. I think of her 19 in front of a blackboard, numbers splayed across her ribs, the doctor's estimations, 4 months, 3 ventilators. We sit in the TV room with another episode of The Beautiful and the Bold, and the nurse pulls the wide yellow curtain behind us like a mandated sun, and isn't that beauty? Being told. Amy, they promised me iron pills and neurologists, and grief tastes different in Arabic, kind of like pistachios. After the funeral, me and her son and his brother sit in a plastic booth, and my camisole can't fit my thorax. Amy, both of you spoke like a pack of Newports. All I wanted was to keep her from dying in French. Swivel table, the word salad. Amy, I dreamed the buildings finally spilled from your throat, that all the omitted women fell from the songs and no one forgot them. Last month, I lost her turquoise bracelet, hoping she'd call and scold me. Her voice would comb over my scalp again, exponentiate and pull. Thank you. This one is called Logarithm 14. And it looks, oh, you can't really see it. Well, it looks like a box. It's meant to be in the shape of a CSS code. Recursion. Emulsion, gears, teeth. Recursion, bent. Recursion. I was a boy growing up until I started falling in love with them. New algorithm with crinkles around it that demonstrate the age to which I survived. I'm still lipsticked somewhere, inebriating the room. There's Venus remnants in my ears and my throat is full. I gesture like the Colorado I am old enough to be conscripted. Bent. Between my ribs, it smells like cigarettes and cracked oranges. Recursion. There's no difference between musicians and women. Recursion. My gender is the way numbers kiss letters to make Arabic. Recursion. I am 153 pounds, 5'8". Bent, I am a growing boy who forgets to eat. I'm wearing my get catcalled jeans, cracked algorithm, Europa, Io, Metis, my gender, Callisto, recursion, teeth, emulsion, girl, gears, moon. Girl. The sound of it all. The sound of a fine auntie who's lived the definition saying, Mashallah. like watching a man with your uncle's name tease a woman named Yasmin, or during World War I, a British and French blockade from 1915 to 1918 of the Syrian coastline impeded the entry of food and caused the deaths from starvation of more than 100,000 men. Recursion. Analysts lining up and one by one tracing my lips, girl, bint, ra. I array my testament body like all I ask is a witness and maybe my eyes, riddled with the inherited potential for cataracts. I clatter through the artery of the road. Do we inherit hunger? Mercury, a geometrician shuffling back into Jean's recursion, I grew up making saints out of men. Thank you. So this next poem is called Pun It with Amy. And throughout the book, I've always been kind of fascinated with Amy Winehouse, not just because she has black hair and wears eyeliner like me, but also because I think there's something to be said for a woman who is able to give sound to. I've never known this woman, and I feel that she has given sound to feelings that that I've had, and I think I just think that's an impossible, miraculous thing. And yeah, rest in peace, because she should be here with us today. But this is called Pun It with Amy, and it's in the shape of a Punnett square. Like dime store gold, I pile on a couch for the holiday and shine like rust. I am 6, the television is blaring, her hair a beehive, crosses piled on her neck, she scats her indigo stomach, Marlboro roast, caddo body, battered jeans. Algorithm. Amy makes a pattern with her throat. The screen stutters. Music is a technology. I serenade the headline from my marrow. Her voice iridescent, my Arabic like me, bent and arching us on the kitchen floor, reciting my stomach. Amy opens her mouth with the country in it, croons my ribs open, pimped my dress blossoms loudly, and it is Boston. Bint her testament, my tattered breasts, pimped words are a business. When we bleed glottal for the audience, we confess elegant without confessing. There is a photo of her in an insincere smile in a beautiful dress. Dad liked to say we were descended from royalty. He was lying, but I walked like I believed him. Screen cracks, we pour in jasmine, rain, oranges, we peer back. I have a brittle conviction I will make a beautiful woman. Thank you. This next poem is called At the End of July, We Saw a Brown Bear from 10 feet away, and I asked about what attracts mammals to the forest, and Alicia said the smell of everything, even lotion. Everything in the bed is washed, the navy comforter, the synthetic silk pillowcases, and the night before I had gone into the forest without realizing my period was going to come the next day in a perfect oval when I had just got done organizing the bathroom and it was timed elegantly and irregular for its beauty, red and viscous and hungry like I'd been once before I'd ever loved anybody. And the night before, my friends dragged me camping and it was Tahoe and dark, but I was laid in a thermal sleeping bag feeling a dam between my legs, and for a moment, I felt like the Miriam I had been named after, brows smeared with the effort of crossing my ankles, but even though no one would come with me outside, I ventured a couple feet from our yellow tent and squatted in the dirt for 4 minutes. I swear the Jordan left me, and my friend laughed from inside. She said I was prolific, and I was. I have a couple more poems for you guys. I think 2 more. And this one is called This Country Smells of Not Enough Doctor's Offices. So I sit in my room, do useless things. I wait for the demise of the state, rewatch Vampire Diaries, order pancakes riddled with blueberries. The officers switch lines in front of us, badges glinting like chrysalis. If given the chance, I'd ruin a man like a monument, use my acrylics to model history into him. I drink tangerine juice, put on the windows, stars, a cluster of empty parks. I retch America into the sink. I wear silk. My uncle works in the hospital. The neighbors are disfiguring a top 40 song next door, and men who look like mine watch other men like the officer does, and thus the officer is replicated in the liquor store, and the law preserves itself in aisle 7, next to cherries in a jar. A country is desires, appetite, ears, hands, mouth. The hospital I was born in was called Zion. Doctors never warn you about the poem between your legs, and my phone doesn't recognize me anymore. For the girls with the appetite flooding the room, pinning them to their bed, I pick my entrails from the back seat. The officer says community. Who will speak of me to strangers? A torso, a wing, a mouth. And my blood is everywhere and cheap, even in my feet. Thank you. So this next and last poem is called Bronchitis is a Beautiful Name for a Girl. California is kindling again. It's been 6 brush fires and I'm nobody's daughter, calculating venials on the hood of a Buick. My brother tugs his sleeves and his lungs strain. He scratches the secondhand Commodore's album and he smiles mundane and lovely, like a grocery list, nail polish carabiner Advil fruit. I'm calling because the city is filled with pollutants, because the duplex with the red roof is falling apart. I'm calling because we argue like tonsils, swollen and stubborn. We watch the In-N-Out cashier wash his gloves off in the sink and my shirt makes me look fertile. We laugh about used biology books, the Disney movie about the Dragon Boy. We make the sky bloom. We split the scrambled wounds in our stomach. I have an aching letter in my mouth the insurance won't cover, but I'm really afflicted with wanting. Smell of pavement after rain. I'm calling because I have no aunts in this country to call for condoms or advice, but I walk around with pros jammed between my legs. I've never loved the same steak twice. My brother dances and the song roams throats until it finds mine. In a dream, the algorithm broke the windows of its Massachusetts. I'm a magnesium deficient miracle who only shaves on Thursdays. He's got new Skechers. We make calligraphy with our shoes walking back from school. The rash of coffee shops in El Cajon, the dilapidated vaunts on Medford Street. I'm calling because California is kindling again and he refuses medicine like I used to. I'm calling because we found the generic for Sudafed and it tasted green. I still bow my head in churches. My survival instinct is too strong. Thank you. Thank you everyone for holding space for my work. Yeah, super happy to be here today.
Thanks so much, Maya. And our fourth and final reader today is going to be Kelsang Lhamo. Kelsang was born in Tibet in Lhokha. She received teachings from Sheldrak Ken Rinpoche and Dungkar Losang Trinley on Tibetan medicine and on the 5 minor sciences. She received novice vows from His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, and also studied Hindi and the Vedas in Varanasi. Kelsang moved to the US in 1999 and translated Sogyal Rinpoche's The Tibetan Book of Living and Dying into Tibetan with Ringu Tolku. At present, she's working as the senior librarian at Buddhist Digital Resource Center. Her other writings and translations include Dreaming at the Sage's Abode, biographical sketches of 4 living Tibetan nuns, biography of great Kalayan Mitra Isha Topten, collection of contemporary writings of Tibetan women, and A Maiden's Wandering Westward. Please welcome Kelsang to the Brooklyn Rail Reading Series.
Kelsang, I think you're muted.
Sorry. I'm a Tibetan traditional writer and related to Buddhism based. So maybe it is new to you. So I'm reading in Tibetan and I requested to Chime Lama read in English. So I start reading. Ngutub jing nongshik. Make shume dang zen yulu yi shine. Jembe tuwa kun se haji gi gemo. Yang yang jambe lula nyen cha shimindu. Leme desen bigong sipa yi gyongshe. Kasan kaya bobe mundo gi jiden. Dirin yu gi shune jang do la songdo. Namde yugu sane pa pipshi majong. Rangjo namde keme luti di tuwa. Jambe kema shube rang yu gi nangyen. Tata jembe yu do chazam le mindu. Legi ongshu sane loti shimajong. Junye goma nambe tugonde daba. Denjo milu rinchen nimadar shayang tajo nila samba changdala sondo. Koar yang gewa bakib shimindo tsume jinje lame tuji yisiji. Jame nyeme umbe risuki puna. Jangye chungye tengi jamne so semyo choje londa tsendi bakib shimindo renden jinje lame repangshi manze. Pinzo nyanja jingi nuchola jorsong. Chugi jiden chuba jilu shredo damju pame cheba bakib shimindo damba shagya omo michabar chaso. Samna samche mindo jungu ki tsela. Samya nyingbe donde ngujule minang. Tani nige donbe dombu yinjiden tawa lodo joda bakib shimindo. Sonde jendo kone nyeri shimweyang. Icha giben neshi dadongyang mani. Tamje ombe shuda rangshingi yedu dawe some chuna jangyo le mindu. Sinju nene chewe kyamo ye shumbu. Tome sibandenwe. Tazo la suyo. Toji dule mayu jamne je chosum. Lengi genta chewe nguju junonshe yedonshi niyo do di.
Please give me your blessing. Translated by Rika J. Verdiment. O beautiful goddess, from the turquoise field of the color of melted emeralds, merely calling you to mind causes the disappearance of all pain. Although this beggar's continuous song is not so pleasant to the ear, please be merciful and protect this sincere, faithful devotee. Yesterday's world, covered by silver snow, today, after it melted, has suddenly turned green. Contemplating the change of the seasons, I could not feel calm. The deceitfulness of the queen of nature and seasons is cruel. The image of my country where my loving mother stays now appears in my mind as only a memory. Contemplating the powerful force of karma, I did not feel peaceful. The words of earlier enlightened masters were so true. Even though the human life, characterized by leisures and endowments, shines like the sun, contemplating in my heart the holy Dharma resembles a cave facing north. Taking birth again and again in samsara, there is no peace. My peerless kind Lama, look up, please look here with compassion. In a cave at the mountain slopes, far from enemies and friends, I considered the 12 ascetic practices as my permanent place of protection. The years and months passed without serious Dharma practice. My kind parents living in hope, please do not feel desperate. I arrived to the well-known prosperous Western land. Here, practicing Dharma for secular aims is common. The careless way holy Dharma is taught makes me anxious. I openly confess this to Buddha Shakyamuni. Although thinking again and again about my remaining days, they appear without meaning, causing only a feeling of crying. The round world is without beginning and end. I have no peace now, like being in a ship leaking water. Although wrinkles have appeared on my face, being a servant of emotions still, I have not managed to find a pleasant, happy place. When everything disappears by itself like a rainbow, only a pencil has remained in my trembling fingers. A prayer of a wanderer from the Himalayan region, I make to the gods who see without obstacles. Ever compassionate three jewels, please give me your blessing for escaping the circle of bad karma. Written in 2004 in New York.
이번에 남양 찡내배 이게 가이 신된라 게망 현지 조배 박사선 계신 현지 조주기 레롱 가야 용화시기 내 유른 장어도 내배 생기 차분 것이 개통의 매라 수배 현지 뭐저 초게 제부 개판하장 예 답변 밀로도 맞디에는 펜베치랑 나된 단계 계획 용원 9월 제양 창대热공원 저주기 인담 남양 술라 체바네 은밤 돈지 강도 교양 장변 미기 따신 준비 신기 수월 제양 원더 롤라 신배 수민 담 술랑 방밤에 다도 바했던 세계 권의 최도 뛴다와 제롱 인코나 치매 체변다 옹옹기 정단 양벌 미디 또할 기워 제베 신대 군 동신 캐모와 조건 유무 작교 취조장 조글로데 나버 수랑 지어네 게마 간달네 우당 현지 존대버니 다돈 채난데베 케기 미샤데레 갑르네 나와 케단 지친도 교신 나와 마면 데들 수에 나와 차기도 게디 나 케단 현지 공간된도 뼈친 케지디 공과 강야 칠 투어메지 내老촌 예보된 장에 뺀답단 최미정롱 지시벌 케기 춘den게 자마시 제벌들 내 초전이 빈베베 외바시 미롱 세가는 케기 주게 인중단 되신 첨수 제신 내와들 내 전체 성대 리다메 케지 민대롱 우타바 케긴다 심미션도 다얼미 집에 남자된 네 케란 다와단 최총세 주연들장 데라라르기 드마치 네 케란 니마단 최총세 주연들장 데라 차웨나 아단데 베신기 은베 등신이 지동 잠세 텐센 데라 탐제 케기 젠의 저도 남시 케기 방도 말이 체연 도지 동주나 대상 하나 전화 치워시바 진제 가져바시레 머신아 키어코나 내년아디 내초와 로지드 렌사양 키어코나라 네 다시
Unsent Letter, translated by Pema Tsewang Shastri. Wanderer, I wrote this letter for him. It speaks of my conflicted emotions when the letter was almost on the verge of being sent, but he never received this letter. Hello, learned one. Either because of the imprints of our shared friendship of many past lives, or due to the karmic winds of other future rebirths, whatever it might be, the moment I saw you, some of my long-suppressed wishes immediately sprang alive. Hence, if you are not the only one who excels in spontaneously stealing the heart of a shy young lady, who else would it be? Even though, for years until now, I have made people happy with kind words and tales of the past and present, I have never revealed the secrets of my love that would fulfill the wishes of a passionate person to anyone. Whether in solitude or moving in a crowd, though I looked with loving eyes and welcomed all with a smiling face, I have never cast my desire-inducing yearning gaze at anyone. Although I have always lived my life in the midst of laughter and comfort, I have also swallowed the stream of my tears as many times as my breath accumulated them in my gut. Though I lived my life in a hermitage like a solitary doe, a cause of torment for young men, I have yet never given my heart to anyone until now. Alas, whatever it may be, the thing that mingles with my breath is none other than my desire to be ensnared again by the lasso of your eyes. Sometimes I dream of my relationship with you becoming so intimate that I even imagine myself crooning the following. If I decide to walk forward with you, then I would never take a step backward, even for a moment. Although my slight hands are not like the soft and nimble petals of a lotus, I would forever wish to be your decent tea server. Though my lips are not the right analogy for a cherry, I aspire to live my whole life always greeting you with warm smiles of happiness. Though my eyes do not possess the attributes of a doe, I vow that I would not, until my last breath, look at anyone else other than your splendid moon-like face. Though I wish to say that you resemble the splendor of the moon, however, the moon is blemished by the shadowed aberration. Though I wish to say that you resemble the glorious sun, yet the sun is marred by intense heat. Other incomparable qualities that beautify your eyes are love, kindness, and passion. If I take my last breath in your lap, at that time, the so-called death for me will be the most beautiful and thrilling thing. In a sense, you're my soul poetry. You are also the salt that enhances the taste and nutrition of my life. Thus, I often had a desire to whisper this unforgettable song into his ears. Nevertheless, while reflecting on this unattainable conceptual memory, I try to forget it as a dream of yesterday, because life is a lie and death is the truth. What is the essence of life on this lemon-like sour world where all things and events appear contradictory to one's mind? When I awoke to the realization, my devotion and respect to my deity and my guru grew much stronger than my longing for this learned one. I atoned completely for my flaws and shortcomings and put them in the past and buried my greedy and selfish urges into a deep pit. If I run into him again, at that time, I am certain I will not see anything special or extraordinary in his eyes.
That somebody the don't devil computing la pure. Chill love pedang, young she draw you chime jimena, lengin zaman jamdo love pipsy, kill a me be quinchang yen ye, shemitsawe in them corner ye. Pensu chamber devil make you young, joe do what sit on yimberta. Let to mevan did that lewanle, little trouble magic kalama. Governing the chamber chonene, swimming dish kidon tower de. Dunge jishi dewa deyagang, sene chimbe dongsim deyagang. Kuan doje shila tegoden, nine lenji jordan long yume. Gokop zamyan minjin kerele, ninji mindo cheme jangshudo. Kawan damal long pabetse, dagi mine chime titinza. Jange chiwe kunji sisiti, lusim renwa keki kalashin. Gadu gola yudu muani jiden kamde chuni yimbage. Duje rangame der yimuchi, tsundu junda tsender kebagang. Jeno keyin jenji jen, jenbe maze jimba chimena, keyi gune tambur kina jiwa tangla le, songlen punasam. Gyudong dida chiden jeba me, negol diru gyua, lakwarpe, daga mindu kembe tsona de kebar gyuyang, dan sing yang misi, kesan lame, keyi shabe nyanga lokin do ji, non state tamati.
To my journeyed, beloved, late Gompo-tsering, translated by Lama Chap. Please return. Unless you happen to be fickle, my journeyed friend, please return to your lover's side once more. For your sake, I brewed welcoming wine and have untold heart-cocooned words inside me. Though no fruit was born of our mutual longing, let's see that love is the sharp intensity of suffering. Such lack of karmic fulfillment is our karmic fortune, but we can never say it's the lack of loyal friendship. At times, I want to pull out my heart in its rawness and display it before you, saying, free of deceit, here. What kind of sorrow or what kind of joy? What's the generosity bound in miserliness? To meet and part is samsaric nature, and true one must part. There's no regret if just once one finds love with a sincere heart. Fool that you were for not even giving me the slightest chance. You have no heart, my fickle journeyed friend. When snowflakes came down, thick and swirling, out of my eyes, tears fell in droplet streams. How could you ever know that the cool moonbeams of the freezing winter stiffen up my mind and body? To laugh when one is happy and to cry when sad is said to be the nature of this perishable world. Wretched it is not to be free from meeting and parting. What difference between this life and a market gathering? I miss your eyes that pull, and more than this missing, my tears choke my throat, and I would love to tightly embrace your neck and give answers to 1,000 questions. These deep sufferings are not due to reminiscing. Right at this moment, suffering augments in earnest, the feelings born of intense adoration and hope. My solemn oath will not perish even for eons to come. I, Kelsang Lhamo, wrote this as I read your poems for me. Thank you.
That's it.
That's everything.
Thank you so much, Kelsang, and thank you, Aris and Maya, and thank you, Chime, for reading and bringing us all together. And I need to say one more time, thank you for Katana wielding neon butterfly slices through Quotidia, which is definitely the title of the year so far. Thanks everybody for being here. We'll be back next week and the week after that, and on and on and on. Maybe we should throw open everybody's mics to say hello and goodbye, and then we'll go off into the next world.
Thank you so much giving us chance to read.
Yeah, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. That was amazing. Thank you.